The lesson.
Oh, yeah.
Now, fast forward the clock off the back of that feature that you had with Chillin' It. And a little later, you actually collabed on a joint with SPANIAN. Who's now one of the biggest personalities, if not the biggest personality in the game.
I mean,
he doesn't even have to rap anymore.
Yeah, bro. Fucking oath. Like, he's a social commentator now. Like, he's gone from the rap and doing bigger and better things, you know? I think he just, like, sold 20,000 copies of his book or something like that, or I don't know, or maybe 100,000. He hit some milestone for his book.
Yeah, I spoke to Carrot Kev about that. I can't remember what he said, but there was something in there that he said that it hit some sort of milestone or target or something like that.
So congratulations to SPANIAN on that.
Yeah, man. Big shout outs to SPANIAN. I remember I caught on to him before, you know, like everyone had caught on to him. He had some old interview, and I just remember that he was talking about the rappers that he grew up listening to.
Yeah.
And it was very like underground New York dudes. And that's when I was just like, oh, wow, this dude knows his shit. And I started following off the back of that.
Yeah.
And then I realized, oh, man, this dude is like a thorough dude with a real good taste for hip hop.
Yeah.
And I was pretty much a fan from that point on. And then, you know, you watch him escalate to where he is now. Now, for yourself, again, like, how did you first link up with SPANIAN? What was your first impressions of him? And how did that song come together?
So I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'd met SPANIAN before it, but like we were just talking, cause you know, these dudes live in Sydney. I was living in Melbourne, and I'm pretty sure I was just saying, I was talking to him, hitting him up for like a feature, just being like, you know, I love your tracks and shit. I knew Spinner as well, so that like him and Spinner were good mates and shit. But basically, yeah, we just decided like, let's do this track. And he sent me his bars and I was like, fuck, that's insane. And I sent him some of my bars and I'm pretty sure he was probably like, nah, you got to go harder on this or some shit. And and then we like I sent my verse to him and he like stitched it all together and stuff. And then I flew up to Sydney and met up with him. I think it might have been the first time I met up with him. I honestly, it's like a bad blur back then. But fucking yeah, and we just went to these flats and fucking, I think Husky and Spinner were there as well. Like they're in the background of the video. And yeah, we just filmed it kind of like probably only 1 or 2 takes, maybe 3 takes. And he just had his mate with the camera and shit. And I'm pretty sure SPANIAN was the one to put like the effects in it, or like he got somebody he knew. But you know, like back then it was all just, we all were doing stuff on our own. Like I'd, you know, record myself and he, you know, like we all would do our own sort of shit just to, you know, because we loved it and like we wanted it to be sick. And yeah, and so that was one of my favorite tracks. Like I love a lot of my bars in that because I actually spent some time trying to put that together. But SPANIAN still kills me on
it. And then, like when you first met him, like did you already you'd already like heard of him and had an impression of him? Now, it's interesting with artists because, you know, sometimes like you get an impression of their character based through their music, and then you meet them. And they can be quite different. And for me personally, the one that really stands out is like Cursor. When I heard his music, I got an impression of who he would be. Like, you know, real cocky, smart ass. Like, and then
he's like
when I met him,
dudes.
Yeah, man, like the nicest, chillest dude to deal with. Very respectful, very polite. And it was just interesting. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I was expecting him to be a good dude, but he just was a really good dude. And because he's so cheeky on the mic, and you know, Cursor is the sickest and all that shit.
But
it's like it caught me off guard.
You don't want to step on his bad side though, as well. You know.
No, fuck no. I'm sure not. But, but so that was one that really was a bit of a surprise for me. Now, SPANIAN, you know, because of who he is on the mic, behind the camera, he's got a persona. When you first met him, was the persona the same as, you know, the person that you met, like, or was it different?
I wouldn't necessarily classify it as like a persona. I think it's more just like a part of the person that they tap into. You know what I mean? But with SPANIAN, like, he's definitely like one of those dudes that's like a good dude. Like if he's got your back, he's got your fucking back. Like he's a man of his word, I reckon, you know? And I think, you know, just his background probably proves that. And yeah, I just reckon that he's one of those guys that people would be scared of, but he's actually like, you know, he'd hold the door open for an old lady. Like he's you know, he's learned that like life isn't about yesterday and it's about tomorrow, you know?
The lesson. 2-7. Oh yeah.